Hey folks, it's Maxie here and welcome to a new TW 2020 video. You join us today for Impact Wrestling, our development company for All Elite Wrestling, and you join us for the Sacrifice pay-per-view. It's a very interesting time with Impact. I feel like it doesn't flow as well as it is with AEW because I'm booking tapings and then by the time I've got to the actual pay-per-view there's been X, Y and Z done in AEW and you're like, where was I? So I might look to alter stuff not going forward straight away. I might see out to Bound for Glory, do the calendar year in effect and get the big payoff, but I think I'm going to restructure my development because the reality is I've got all these wrestlers, they're developing their skill set, but by the time they are ready, I might not be playing the save, some of these wrestlers, most of the ones I'm not using on television with Impact, might not be ready to 2029, so what I might do when we get to Bound for Glory is cease to use their character of Impact, which is Don Callis, shut down the Development Factory or the Dark Factory and Ice Ribbon and send everyone to Impact under AI Developmental and basically allow them to just have show after show after show after show. But we'll see what happens. I'm just playing so many games these days and it's so hard to keep up to date with everything. Just playing far too much FIFA basically. And I have a catalogue of games to play, and thankfully in the first quarter there's only really Hogwarts Legacy that's coming out that I'm interested in. So, and I'm getting really frustrated of chasing this 100 match. I've been on the Fantasy Booker subreddit. I've been like, what's I have to do to get it? And I just can't seem to nail it. And I kind of that way as well. Like I've been playing Afghanic mod, just as a wee off internet, off record save, basically just a modern wee kind of world effectively. I'm enjoying it. Just frustrating that your main guys can only go 6 minutes. So and the product that I need to use to start with is more tailored towards the I don't know. It's on popularity I believe, but there isn't much popularity and it's just really hard to gain it. So yeah. But I'm still enjoying the game. I want that goddamn 100 rated match. And it still doesn't seem to want to happen. But anyway, we're here for Impact. Obviously, it's been a wee while since the last Impact event, so we'll talk through the segments as the show goes ahead. So cheers for watching. Let's crack on with TNA, or as it's now known as Impact, Sacrifice. But the company's in such a popularity that we can gather 24,000 fans at the Burgess Snowfield at the GSU Stadium for this event. I don't even know if I put it on any networks. I should be on AEW+. I'd hope I'd done that. But anyway, I started the show with a little hype package. I usually do the promo, but I just felt like here we had a few words from the challenger, Josh Alexander. Over the last couple of months, we've kind of been seeing him have that big feud with Nick Aldis, get the win over Aldis, and that's propelled him into number one contendership to face Jacob Fatu, the champion. The champ says he's been reigning for a couple of months now. Josh Alexander's just another guy that thinks he can take him. And the only thing Jacob Fatu is going to do is take Josh Alexander out. So a 71 segment, pretty solid. We just need our match to deliver and we should get a very solid overall show. Speaking of very solid, I started off with two guys that I really was excited for. Anything Ben Carter in this X division is absolutely flying off the chart. And we had a bout here that had great heat and good wrestling as Ben defeats Lee Johnson in 14:02 with a Phoenix Splash. It's his 10th defence of the belt, a 74 overall, 84 in-ring performance. I think he's one that's certainly benefited from the jump down to Impact. He's putting on banger after banger after banger. I don't see him being in Impact much longer. I think if he's going to keep doing that, I've got to get him in that main roster and I've got to get him in something with his mentor, Tyler Black. So that was a Steal the Show matchup. Great stuff there from the X Division guys, and that is with Ben Carter holding back apparently as well. Next up, we had another good matchup here, and it was Garza Jr. defeating Blake Christian in 13:11 with the Wine Clipper. Two good performances here. Garza the standout with the 76, and overall the segment was a 71, but someone again maybe lost in the shuffle, and a good victory here at Sacrifice. We then had the Women's, or the Knockouts Tag Team Championships on the line. Of course, the youngsters Roxy and Yasmin. And they had the defence against the alliance of even younger Billy Starks and the older veteran Candice LeRae. Decent reaction from the crowd here, subpar wrestling, and it was Roxy and Yasmin who defeated Billy Starks and Candice LeRae in 10 minutes when Yasmin pinned Candice LeRae with Arabian Night, and it gave them their second defence of the Knockouts tag belts. So they're obviously a work in progress because of how old the mod is now. I mean, it was back, after All Out 2021, I think. So a long time we started this save, so Roxy's stats are maybe not quite what they should be. But overall, good one for them in their defence. We then cut backstage to Garza Jr., who delivers the top promo so far with a 78. And he just says, look at what I've done in that matchup against Blake Christian. I'm not here for a long time. I'll be back on All Elite Wrestling's roster and go for that World Championship. But maybe I'll take a little interest in tonight's main event between Alexander and Fatu and maybe make my presence known to them down the line. Solid, effective stuff. Then the Tag Team Championships on the line, and it was about the had good heat and decent wrestling, and it was a shock here. Undisputed defeated the Legion in 11:44 when Roderick Strong pinned Raul Mendoza with a sick kick. Undisputed are your new Impact World Tag Team Championships. Champions. So 61. I just feel with Legion that they're probably too good for Impact. And I feel like maybe the experience of Fish and Strong could be better with the younger talents on Impact. But it's trying to just balance who really needs to be here and who should really be on the main roster, and effectively who maybe needs to look at their future endeavours. But a wee swerve here, new tag champs. Next up with a promo ahead of our Knockouts World Championship matchup, and that was frauds from Kylan King. And she just says she's been on a great run of victories in Impact Wrestling. She is fully deserved of this championship match, and she's going to show who the true king of the Knockouts division is, as she needs some gold around her waist as she looks to defeat Willow Nightingale, 62. And their matchup, good heat and decent wrestling, and Willow defeats Kylan King in at 12:37 with a fisherman suplex, and it gave Willow the first defence of the belt. I'd say that's pretty solid, though. A 66 is really good from those two. Just a regular matchup, and the ratings surpassed that, so that's really good to see. I feel like both of them are obviously going to be main roster bound at one point, but they maybe just need a little run here before they ascend to the main roster. Next up, we had some good heat and decent wrestling. I had Corbin defeat Moose in 12:08 with a fallen object. This feud's been going back and forth since Corbin's debut in Impact. I know this doesn't really benefit any of them because both of them are the wrong side of 40, but I feel like if you were bringing something like Corbin in, he's not coming in to lose straight away, although he is most likely to put people over. So I'll give him a win against someone else that's older, and then Corbin can then put other people over down the line. But it gives him a bit of heel heat going forward. Then I had another great promo on 83 from Richard Holiday. Says he's been missing in action for a long, long time, and it's time that Impact Wrestling get a little bit of insight and remembering who he is. He is one of the most remarkable wrestlers in the world, and if Impact Wrestling wants to keep getting money, record revenue, they've got to start pushing him. He says he saw Garza had some interesting words for the main event earlier on. Maybe Richard Holiday should also have an interest in that matchup. 83, solid. Another good matchup here. It was great wrestling and good heat. Just felt like it was a good kind of youngster versus experienced pro matchup. And Kaito Kayoma, who's obviously been in the news recently, defeated Jay Lethal in 14:28 with a Tiger Suplex hold, a 75. Great performances there. If I had plans for him on the main roster, he'd be there. The performances are good enough, but I feel like if I just have him kicking ass, gaining momentum on developmental, that main roster run will happen eventually. It's all good saying, oh, you'll get to the main roster, they should be there. It's finding the space in the programme because it's such a bloated roster and I need to let people go. I know that. Co-main event time, and that is the big feud we've had going between Kenta and Ten. As you can see, the name change, obviously, he's coming out eventually unmasked. He was beaten up, he was put in for a table by Kenta. These two went to war for a while. That's a 56, that's why we had the highlight package for that. And the match itself had good heat and decent wrestling. And babyface Preston Vance, the former 10, defeats Kenta in 10:09 with a pounce. 59, 57 for Preston, 59 for Kenta. Obviously as well the wrong side of 40. But happily doing the job here for Preston. Which leads us to your main event. And it was a superb matchup. Josh Alexander defeated Jacob Fatu in 1921 with a Pearl River plunge, meaning that Josh Alexander wins the Impact World Championship. A 78, spectacular stuff. Good to get the build up on Josh. He finally wins the championship in this, even though in real life he's been champion for God knows how long. But never champion in this. But here he gets his moment. A 67 for him and a 78 for Jacob. Jacob is going to the main roster. That's pretty much set in stone. And after the matchup, Josh Alexander celebrates in the ring. His family's in the ring. It's a great occasion. And it's a 66. Overall, a 78 rated show. Pretty solid with that. We don't do the boosts for this show because there's no real point. It's not going to get anywhere close to 100. So that is what it's on merit with those ratings. Popularity increase in 25 regions is good to see as well. And you pretty much are in a position where that doesn't really look like developmental when you think about it. Truthfully, with Ben Carter, Roxy, there's no new gens there at all. So that's why I'm kind of wanting to kind of rein that to AI, because I am not dealing with them very well at all. But still, we'll keep booking it and we'll see what we can develop in the next couple of months. But as I say, next video will of course be the free-for-all show. David versus Goliath. Yeah, I was going to say Gunter there, but obviously it'll be Walter as he looks to get back his AEW World Championship as he battles Jungle Boy, plus much, much more on that show. Maybe even a rematch between Mercedes Varnado and Mayu Iwatani. But that video will be next week. Thank you very much for tuning in. Take it easy. Check out the Fantasy Booker subreddit and the Grey Dog Software forums. And until next time, this was Maxwell. I'll see you soon. Bye bye.